guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. I did ask over on Instagram for you to send me questions and you guys came through. I got so many questions, including the most commonly asked question, which was, have you heard back from Pathology? So I will be going over that as well. But before we get started, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is one of my favorite sponsors, and that is Ritual. As we all know, even with a perfect diet, it's hard to get in all of the key nutrients that you need on a daily basis, which is why if you've seen many of my other videos, I have been taking and loving Ritual. Ritual is an obsessively researched multivitamin that is also vegan friendly, sugar-free, non-GMO, gluten-free, and allergen-free. They have something for everyone with a woman's multivitamin, a man's multivitamin, 50 plus, prenatal, postnatal, and a teen vitamin. One thing that makes Ritual unique is their transparency. So they're very particular about their nutrients, where they source everything from, the environmental impact of their products, and also their bottles are 100% made of recycled materials. It's delivered to your door via a subscription, and it's a good small goal that will make a big impact. If you're looking for small changes you can do to better yourself, this is a great one. I do have a 10% off code for your first 3 months. If you want to use my code and my link that will be below, you guys will not regret trying this. You're probably just going to use it forever because it is amazing. And if you look into all of the things that go into them picking their nutrients and where they source from, you're going to be very impressed. So thank you so much, Ritual, for sponsoring another video. You are one of my favorites to work with. We definitely love you on this channel and we appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the Q&A, and I'm not going to leave you guys waiting. I'm going to go ahead and do the most commonly asked question first, which was, have you heard back from Pathology? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch my last few videos. There have been a lot of things going on. I actually had not heard back from them as of asking the question on Instagram earlier today. And when I saw that one come in over and over again, I was like, I can't answer that because I just don't know. They haven't called me yet. They ended up calling me as I was sitting down to film, and it came back clear. It did not have molar tissue, no cancer. I'm so happy, you guys. I just feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I'm sure you guys can imagine. And I'm just really happy. Thank you so much to everyone who asked. Thank you so much to everyone who has sent me their stories. I got so many stories after my last video that I have not been able to get back to all of them, and I feel so badly because these are such personal stories, and I am reading them all. I'm going through them. I'm trying to write back, so please be patient with me. I got a lot more stories than I expected to get, even though I know it's more common than people think it is until you're experiencing it, but I really appreciate every single message that was sent to me. So the next question is, do the doctors ever judge you when you tell them that you co-sleep with James? So James is my 2.5-year-old. He is still sleeping in the bed with us. No, I've never had a doctor tell me that it's wrong or that I shouldn't do it. Now, I will say that when he was really little, the first 6 months of his life, he did sleep in a bassinet beside our bed. So he was not in the bed with us when he was really little. And I think that's important because I think that there are so many bad things that can happen if they're just so small and helpless at that age. But he did sleep in a snoo. He loved it. And when he outgrew that, he moved into the bed with us, and he is still there. And, you know, my parents co-slept with us, and Alex's parents co-slept with him. It just seems really natural to us. If you think about it, even adults don't really like sleeping alone. They like to sleep with their partner, their spouse, their boyfriend, whatever. And I feel like it's kind of sad that we expect these tiny little children to just sleep in their own rooms at such a young age. It just doesn't feel right to me personally. And that's a very personal choice. And I definitely don't judge mothers for whatever decision you make with sleeping with your children. I think that every family has to decide what's best for them. And there are a lot of situations and a lot of couples that would not want their child in their bed. It just wouldn't work for their family, their situation, their house, whatever it is. It just has worked out for us. I don't know that we're gonna co-sleep this long with any of our other kids. I would think probably not, because like if we had another little boy, I probably would have them share a room growing up when they're little, and they would have each other at that point. So it just really depends. The next question is, how is James? Did he notice that something was going on and that his parents were sad? I got a lot of questions similar to this. How did James react when you were crying? What does James do when mommy's sad? That kind of stuff. And I think that luckily he's still a little bit too young to really grasp what's going on. I mean, we had told him that I was pregnant. We said, you know, mommy has a baby in her belly, but he really didn't understand. And he has not asked once, like, where the baby went or is baby still in the belly. Like, he honestly was just too small to comprehend it. And he also didn't seem super alarmed that mommy was sad. I mean, I did try to hide it from him. I wasn't just like crying all the time in front of him, just because I don't think that he needs to feel that grief. You know, he's so little. But I think that he has handled it well. I mean, he's been really sweet, but I haven't like overly explained it to him. The next question is, what snack do you love but you hide from your kid? I have a really specific answer for this because it is Reese's peanut butter cups. I'm in love with them, but if James sees me eating them, he comes over begging for a bite, which of course I have to give him, but the kid will take the biggest bite in all of history. Like, he eats like the whole thing in one bite, just like his dad does. And so I eat them, but I hide them. I tend to eat them inside the pantry. And I think he's gonna be on to me one of these days. What phone games do you like playing? I got hooked on Tiny Tower and Pocket Planes years ago. Yes, I spent so much time of my life on Tiny Tower and Pocket Planes. Loved both of them, played them so much. So I was playing Forge of Empires for a while. I saw a commercial on TV and it looked fun, so I downloaded it, but I didn't like it very much because I felt like you basically had to spend money on it in order to like get far on it, and I just thought that kind of sucked. So I switched to SimCity Build It, and it has been everything. It's so good. You don't have to spend real money on it. You can actually build up the cash inside of the app pretty easily on your own, and I feel like I have a really nice big mature city now, and I love it. I don't play it like all the time, but I would say I play it every day, like just a little bit, and it's perfect for if you're like in the car or if you're waiting somewhere, or in the morning when I'm sipping coffee. I just kind of like get my factories going, and I just really like it. So that is my favorite one currently. Next question is, do you think you'll live in Nashville forever? Did you sell your California home? So we did sell our California home, luckily before the COVID stuff happened, because I think it would have been really hard to sell a house in California after that, because literally like everyone's trying to move out of California. But I think that started even before COVID. People were just trying to move out of there. We are so happy to be in Nashville. It's hard for me to say that any place is a forever place, because both Alex and I have moved a lot in our lives, both in our childhood and as adults. So it's hard to say like, yes, I'm gonna be here forever, but at the same time, I can't imagine where else we'd want to be, because it is so centrally located. It's such a nice city. The city has a lot of culture and music and good food. It's close to my parents. It's closer to Alex's parents. They're up in northern Wisconsin, and there really isn't any place we'd move that would be closer than here to them. So it's just a really, really good location for us. It has a really good school district, and we love our house. So we're definitely not gonna move anytime soon. Like, we are planning on having our kids in this house and just like being here. Like, we're putting down roots and we love it. Please describe the first time you and Alex met. So I might have mentioned this in a video before, like back when I first announced that we were getting married, but we met at one of his concerts. He was on tour and he was playing at the House of Blues in downtown Disney in Anaheim, California. And I was living in LA at the time, and one of his best friends was dating my best friend at the time. And so she had like had me listen to his music that summer. This happened in like a February. In the summer before, I'd been listening to his music, but I had never like seen him, didn't know what he looked like, didn't know him as a person, just knew him, like knew his music and loved his music. And she was like, do you want to go to this concert? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, my boyfriend can get us backstage passes and we can go and like hang out with them and meet everyone. And I was like, that sounds amazing. So we went together that night, and that is where I met my husband. And he gave me a teddy bear that I still have. It's in my closet, actually. I found it recently in a bin, and I was like, this needs to sit on a shelf and be seen every day. He gave me a teddy bear that night, and we just clicked. We really did. After the concerts, we had been backstage beforehand, and then afterwards we all went and ate at the Rainforest Cafe, and he and I shared a cheese quesadilla, and then everyone just kind of like said goodbye. We hugged. He was leaving to go on tour. I mean, he was in the middle of a tour. He was only there for that night, and It's so funny because like years later, he told me one night, he was like, yeah, I really just wanted to like beg you to come with me on the rest of the tour. And I just thought that was so romantic and cute and sweet. And I don't know, I probably would have been crazy and said yes at that point if he had asked me that night, but not really, because like we just met each other. But yeah, we didn't start like dating seriously at that point in our lives though. We were 23 when we met, and we didn't start like really getting serious until we were 25. So there was a while there where we like dated for a while, and then we had a long break, and I dated this other guy for 8 months, and then we broke up, and then Alex and I got back together, and then we've been together ever since. And we are celebrating our 5th year of marriage this year. Do you sleep with your socks on or off? Off. And people who sleep with their socks on cannot be trusted. How do you seek happiness right now besides being a mom to James and arranging bedrooms? That is a really specific question and so true. Those are probably my 2 things right now, to be honest. I am really leaning into my like loving bond with James. I mean, obviously he's like my world, but also arranging the bedrooms has been a huge distraction in a good way for me. What happened to me was devastating, and it was traumatic, and it was very sad, but I am in general a happy person and happy with my life. And so the balance was easier. It was easier for me to overcome it and like be able to move on in a healthy way compared to someone who is struggling anyway in their life. Was your IUI painful? I'm having one in a few weeks and I'm terrified. No, it wasn't. Basically what they do is they put the thing in you that like opens you up like before a pap smear, and then they insert a catheter, and it burns for about 2 seconds. It doesn't feel very painful. It just feels like a burning sensation for a couple seconds, and then it's done. It's actually a super, super easy procedure, and I would not be nervous or worried about it at all. Will you get the COVID vaccine as soon as it's available, or will you wait or not get one? I am definitely getting it as soon as it's offered to me. So is Alex. We are completely on board with the vaccine. My dad has had both doses, is totally fine and happy. My grandmother, who's 95, had her 2 doses, perfectly happy. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be getting it, and I can't wait. If you could read one book as if it were for the first time, what would it be? This is easy. It would be the Harry Potter series. That might be cheating because it says one book, but it would be Harry Potter, and just the best series ever. And then another question said, which is your favorite Harry Potter book? And that would have to be book 4. I don't think the movie's the best movie. I think I like movie 5 and 6 better, and 1, of course. But as for books, book 4, absolutely loved it. Do you keep in touch with your friends from college? So I had 2 best friends in college. They were my closest friends, my roommates, loved them to death. Yes, I am still in touch with them. We talk probably once a week. After everything that happened with my personal life the last couple of weeks, I had long, heartfelt conversations with both of them, opened up to both of them. They both knew that I was pregnant. They both knew that I had had this long struggle. So yes, we are definitely still close. Actually, one of them came to visit me a couple of months ago, and she stayed here in the house, and it was so much fun. And we literally just like drank wine and like gossiped and caught up with each other for days, and it was wonderful. The other one I haven't seen in a while because she lived out of the country for a while, but she's back now because she just had a baby, and so we've been talking a lot. And then I have another friend who isn't a college friend, but I kind of count her in the same group as like OG friends, because this girl I've been best friends with since we were in 6th grade. She is my oldest friend that I still consistently talk to, and I talk to her probably even more than the other 2 in terms of like quantity, but all 3 of them are just literally 3 of the best friends I can ever imagine. All 3 were bridesmaids. All 3 will be in my life forever, and I love them. Okay, and then the last question is another one that I got a lot of the same question, which is basically, what are your next steps with fertility? Are you going to do IUI or IVF? Have you been cleared to start again, etc.? So I just got the pathology results back today. So right now, the first step is we have to wait for my period to come back. I was supposed to go in for my last beta draw today. I was at a 10 last week. I had one scheduled for a blood draw today, but we are currently iced in a snowstorm. And so actually the clinic canceled before I could even cancel. They were completely closing down. And so I got rescheduled for next week. So we need to see my numbers go to 0, which I think they will be because I've been taking pregnancy tests and they are now completely negative because the test was still showing positive even when I got that level of 10 last week. So we need to wait till my levels get down to a 0. We have to wait for my period to come back. And then because pathology was clear, at that point, I will be cleared to try again. So at this point, even though I'm still kind of wavering between IUI and IVF, I feel like IUI is the way we're gonna go, mostly just because if my period comes back in the next week or so, we wouldn't even have time with this ice storm and everything happening to get IVF going that cycle. So we probably would do IUI this month, even if we were planning on moving on to IVF the next month. So at that point, I feel like we should just give IUI the 3-cycle try and just hope that we have better luck and that we don't have a crazy fluke happen. But I have decided that if I have another loss, I will be moving on to IVF and I will feel very comfortable with that decision at that point. So those are all of the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, Ritual, for sponsoring another video. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. A huge percentage of you that watch my videos consistently are not subscribed because I can see that on the back end. So I would definitely appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys with my next video, which will probably be more house updates because the bedroom shuffle is going. So yes, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.